So continuing with the Messiah conversation that I was having yesterday, the video cut off halfway through. But yeah, I know that he did lots of things kind of that I would 100% not do. He was all about leading people to God, I guess. But really, all he did was got a bunch of people and took them to the Israeli border where he was met with hostility, and they didn't want him there or anything. And I just feel like that's not at all what a Messiah would do. A Messiah would sort of be someone who would try and work all religions and try and get everyone happy, not happy, but try and do what everyone kind of don't piss people off too much, basically. Or you can piss people off, but only in a verbal way. Don't get others involved. Like, there's no way I would take a bunch of people and say, or especially in the Middle East, take a bunch of people and take them to a border where they're likely to get shot or be just rejected or whatever. So I wouldn't have done that. And I would say that if you're not happy with your home, you should try and make your home a better place rather than moving to a place where you're not welcome and try and immigrate. But yeah, so he didn't, I don't know, it got cancelled and I feel like I don't really care. I mean, it was interesting and it was interesting to see what he did and what he said, but I wasn't really impressed by anything that he said because I think a real Messiah should come and declare themselves to be God because people want to know what God is like. People want to know the truth about God. And I feel like a lot of people don't know the truth about God. They think God is this big, scary man in the sky who demands worship and is going to punish people for not worshipping him or not believing in him. There's a lot of people have different views on what God is. Some think God is just all loving and all amazing, he could do everything, and that's clearly not the truth, because if God was all loving and all amazing, then why is the world not feeling this God's love or everything? Why is there so much hatred here and stuff? And I hate people. That's the reason why. But yeah, I want to end Christianity. That is my main reason. So I want to get on a TV show and end Christianity. And I feel like Big Brother is the best place to do it. Why? Because I know a lot of people are going to hate me for what I believe. A lot of people are going to insult me. And if I'm on a Big Brother show, they can't do that because I'm hidden from all the stuff that they say. So there's loads of reasons. But I would say it doesn't have to be Big Brother, but if it's not Big Brother, then what else is it going to be? I don't know what else it would be. My hair's starting to look really bad now. I need to brush it. I literally just got out of bed, and yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I want to get onto Big Brother, and I want to end Christianity. That is my only goal. I don't care about worship. I don't care about even surviving it. I do have a problem though, which is that if I go on Big Brother and find that no one believes, no one's looking at the evidence, no one wants to look at the evidence, no one cares, and then I have to come out and then go back to doing massage. I think that might be a problem because I might get loads of prank callers or loads of people just messing with me around, or I might get a bunch of terrorists wanting to come and have a massage to kill me, which is also a good thing. That would be kind of probably the best result. Actually, that would be the best thing, as long as it's not torture. Killing, yes. Torture, no. I don't agree with torture. But yes, I don't know. I might have to not do massage if I come out, if I go into a show and still no one cares, still no one believes, still no one looks at the evidence, then I'm just like, okay, I'm going to have to not do massage for a while. But yeah, hopefully, I think it will work. I don't know. I don't know the future, but I think it will work. If I go into the Big Brother, I would say the American one because there's a lot more Christians in America, so it would be a lot easier to wind them up. Fulfill all the prophecies of the Antichrist, which is not to say that I'm the Antichrist, it's to say that I am God. And this is my temple, the third temple. I know Big Brother's got a third temple. It is their third temple, it's their third house, but I have to wait. I don't want to wait till August or September. That's way too long. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the Messiah guy did everything wrong because he was leading people to God. But he was never really declaring himself to be God. And there was a bit of debate about whether he was God or, but the thing is, I think the main thing that the show did wrong was that he looks Islamic, and he obviously supports Islam because he's from there and that's his hometown, and I think he has some ideals of that. But I, I think Islam, they don't believe God can be a man or human, and if he doesn't believe that he's man or human, then how can he lead people to God if he doesn't actually know who God is? If God only lives after death, then you'll only lead people to death if you lead them to God. If, however, Christ is God on earth, and she's saying, I'm trying to lead you to God because I am God, it makes it makes a more clearer thing, and people can be like, oh, so you're leading people to yourself, not because I want to be worshipped, just because I want people to know about me, and I think if they know about me, they'll know about God. I feel like I hate this world because I've had this horrible, shitty life. I've had horrible parents. I've had 10 years where I'm convinced that people know about me, and no one's coming forward to help me in any kind of way. And so I have a huge amount of distrust and just hatred towards them. But maybe my higher self has deliberately set me up into this because she wants me to know how she feels, because the whole world doesn't want to believe in a female God. The whole world doesn't want to believe that, in the truth, God, can only be female on earth, and she can only talk to people when on earth. So you are only ever going to get a female God, because you're only ever going to get a someone who's coming down on earth as a female. And if you can't accept that God can be a female on earth, then God kind of hates you because you're the reason why she can't come down. There's no way I could have come down 100 years ago and said, hey, I'm God, I'm female. No one would have accepted it. The world is way too sexist. And, how would you feel if you knew that you can see the timeline, you can see the end, the beginning, you're trying to come down to earth to tell people who you are, what you believe in, you don't care about all the nonsense that they're worshipping, you're not here to be idolized. You're the Christ kingdom. There's supposed to be 1,000 years of Christ's kingdom. You know what my kingdom is? My 1,000-year kingdom is actually where I get everyone to just believe that I'm God. I don't give a shit about you. I hate the world. I ain't really here to help you because you have never helped me throughout the whole of the beginning of the timeline. And my kingdom would be my revenge. You just live your life. You just do what you want. And if you're the sort of person who relies on God and worships God every single day of your life, and now you realize actually it's not Jesus, God isn't going to help you, would you still believe in God if you knew it was me, and if you knew I had no intention of actually helping you in your everyday life? Would you still love God? There's so many prayers that people say to God about how much admiration is, and all I can think is, if this person who wrote this prayer knew that I was God, and that maybe I can help people, I can guide people, or maybe I can help with inspiration or songs, maybe I can do that. But at the end of the day, it's just me. Would they actually be writing these songs? I was a street preacher in the streets of Birmingham. He was doing this massive song about how much he loved Jesus and all the things he'd done. And he sounded gay. He sounded really, really gay. Like he was literally in love with Jesus. But it was just like, if I would have told him that I'm God, would he still have written that song? I really don't think so, because what they love is the idea of someone saving them. That is the only thing that they love. And I really want to punish them for, the whole Christianity is a horrible religion because it gets people to love God for the wrong reasons. Love God because God can help you. God can do this for you. God can do everything for you. God is going to give you eternal life, and God is going to do all this for you, or just whatever they think God, whatever reason they have for loving God. The only reason why they do that is because they think God is going to give them something. And, my kingdom would be actually where I thought, I'm God. I ain't going to give you shit all because you've done shit all for me. And I hate the life that I've lived. I hate the fact that I feel like I'm seeing things that is evidence that people know about me. And I can't understand why I've lived this life. But at the same time, maybe my higher self is trying to show me how she feels, if I'm living outside the timeline, if I'm a ghost that can try and change things, and I have one opportunity as a person, say, okay, that's me. No God is going to choose me as being the special one. But if it's me choosing me, then that makes sense as to why I've chosen me, not because I'm special, but just because that's me. I have no other choice but to choose. I can't choose anyone else because that is me. That Anna is me, and and if I'm trying to make my life awful because my higher self can see the timeline and is just fed up with all these people that are just saying lies about me and saying that I love them, and then saying that they love me when in reality I can see my human self on earth. That is my human self. That is what the DNA is formed. White people are formed from that. Black people are formed from Malia. Middle Eastern people started from Eve, or my Dala, and then Lily is where the Asian blood comes from. If I knew these four Christs are me, and the whole reason why humans are humans and not monkeys or not dinosaurs is because of me, and yet they're not able to accept my human selves, my four human selves. I'll be bloody pissed off, and I'll have to try and make a timeline where I punish people for the first half of the timeline. And yeah, if there's going to be 1,000 years of Christ's kingdom, I don't necessarily know if it'll be really all punishing, but it would be punishing all the people who, because everyone worshipped the wrong God, and everyone only wanted to worship the wrong God. And I feel like that would be my kingdom, where I just kind of say ha to all the people that want to believe that God is something other than me. And if I'm looking at the timeline and I can see myself, I'd want myself to be really pissed off. Why? Because I'd want myself to tell a message to the world about how I feel. I feel something. I feel like I hate this world or whatever. So I'm getting my human self, which say, imagine there's a timeline here, and I could see my little four lives, and then I could see that one. I'd want the one that speaks out to the world to be really pissed off and angry, because that's how I feel as something that has created the timeline. And so yeah, that is my theory as to why I'm. But that doesn't help. That doesn't prove though that anything is going to happen. But I'm sure something is going to happen, because if I'm seeing the timeline, I would want the change to happen, and it's got to happen. And if it doesn't happen, if I just live my whole life, then I'm just gonna just say, okay, here's a timeline. Let's just put it in the bin and just forget about it, and just try and move on to another planet. And maybe that is the case that I'm living in. Maybe. Why do I have to save anyone? Like, if I've made the timeline, if I'm God and I'm looking outside timeline and I'm seeing the timeline and I can jump into it and edit it and change it, and I've been doing it to all match me, but then a lot of things it's to do with the spirit, not necessarily me as a ghost, but me as a spirit is inspiring things. But if I can see all this and people still aren't accepting me, and I can't get one person, well, I can get one person because I've got a few people, one or two people who kind of believe, I think. But yeah, is there anything wrong with me just picking up the timeline and just saying, okay, you can live out the timeline until the Earth dies, Anna's not going to have another life till she's Lily, and then then I'll just take my soul and take it back. Will I go back to being the memory that I have as a god, or would I just go to a different planet and just start again and just wipe this one clean? Wait for Mars, in a few thousand years. My head's a mess here. Wait for Mars. There'll probably be life in Mars, and then just start again and just scrap Earth. I don't know. Is that even that bad of a plan? I don't know, but I know that I feel like this world is just useless.